And we're live. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Thank you for coming over to the DFS 5-pack. We are here to talk about the DraftKings main slate. And it's hard to believe this one, young man, but we are on week 5 of the NFL already. So I know it was just a couple of weeks ago when I wouldn't stop begging football to show up. And you're probably like, Ryan, shut up. We got baseball going on. But we've been here a month now, and the Packers are 4-0. Cleveland's 3-1. So we're happy guys.
We are happy. Only one loss between us. So, man, let's hope we keep that going this week. Excited to break the slate down with you.
Absolutely. Let's talk about it. Let's get into it, guys. Click the thumbs up button if you don't mind. And let's talk about week 5.
Let's get it.
I'll make a question for you, though. Right now, who is the MVP of the National Football League? Is it Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson?
Is it Aaron Rodgers? Is it Russell Wilson? Or is it Patrick Mahomes? So you could always say two. Honestly, right now, it's probably Russell Wilson. More gaudy numbers, etc. But you can't really fault anyone for choosing Rodgers. You know I'm a huge Rodgers fan, and he's got a few more weeks at least to prove himself worthy.
I think the right answer is it's yet to be determined, and you really can't go wrong. I bring it up because I've been finding it interesting this week listening to the talking heads and like people getting very animated about which side it is on both of them. Like, guys, they're both having incredible years. Like, we still got 12 more games to go. We shouldn't get too analytical about this one. They're both playing out of their mind. They each have a narrative that works for them too. Like, Wilson's never won one, but he's like always right up there. And Rodgers, everybody was counting him out. Now he's doing it, and he's doing it without a lot of his players. So it's an interesting conversation, but we got a lot of football left to play.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, if you are interested in getting a free DFS 5-pack membership, we would love to have you come join the team. We're looking for brand new overlay players. We will be breaking down the overlay slate later, coming off of a solid week 4 on overlay. All you need to do is, as a first-time player, go make a deposit, sign up, and then just tweet it to me or email it to me, your new what your deposit is. Depending on how much you deposit, we'll offer you a free membership. You know, if it's a $50 deposit, 2 weeks, 100 free month. And if you want to go balls to the wall and do the $1,000 deposit, you get a free lifetime membership. Just got to send me a screenshot of what it is, and we will break down the overlay plays later, coming off a week when we both finished in the top 10% in the progressive jackpot. Let's get after it this week and try to go 12-0 to win that big jackpot.
Let's get it.
All right, guys, subscribe to the station if you're new to it. Talking about the quarterback position on the members-only video, first thought, we went through all the quarterbacks, and I think we had about 5 of them that you can make a case for this week. A guy that I feel really, really safe with is Kyler Murray of the Arizona Cardinals. He's got both the high floor and the high ceiling with the ability to rush the ball. It gives him a nice floor every single week. He's got a number 1 wide receiver in DeAndre Hopkins. And the other thing is, like, Arizona just cannot run the ball successfully, so it leaves everything on the shoulders of Kyler Murray in order to perform. They get a really bad Jets team this week, and while the Jets defense, I don't think it's the worst one in the league. It's not great, but it's not awful. Their offense is so bad, this just gives him more time on the field in order to score points. Drake is not playing well, as I already said. So when they get inside the red zone, this kind of forces Murray to either run it in or pass it in. He hasn't even played well the last 2 weeks and still has 24 DK point plus in each of those games.
So you don't think Joe Flacco starting is going to make this Jets offense a lot better?
I don't know what you could do outside of getting Patrick Mahomes that can make this Jets offense even average.
Yeah, so agreed. Murray's in a very comfy spot here, it seems like. He gives you the warm and fuzzies. You struggle to see him not having at least a good game here. Whether or not he has a fantastic, spectacular game is so touchdown dependent. But he's in a good spot here. It's not, again, just the fact that the Jets defense is awful, because that's probably the best unit on their team right now. It's more, again, like you said, their offense is so bad. Arizona defense will play well here because the Jets offense is so bad, and the Arizona offense is going to have the ball a lot. So anytime they have the ball, you got to like Murray. I like the third bullet point. He has not been great the past couple weeks, but he's still been more than fine from a DFS perspective, putting up around 25 DK points. I mean, that's what you want.
You've got to like a guy that gives you both a solid floor and a solid ceiling, because one of these days, too, like, he's going to re-break out after less than stellar weeks 3 and 4, and he's going to run in 2 of them, pass him a couple of them, hit 100 yards rushing, or maybe actually toss it for 300. I have not been impressed by him the last 2 weeks, and yet he still meanders into 24 plus DK points, which is a nice floor to have. And Drake does not look good. The running game doesn't look good, kind of forcing him to be productive. Solid floor, solid ceiling. He's one of the plays that gives you the warm fuzzies because you highly doubt he's the reason you're going to lose money.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next up, let's talk about your boy Kareem Hunt of your. The most important point right here is that Nick Chubb is out for a couple of weeks. And I saw a tweet or an Instagram post the other day, I forget where it was, but it was running backs that I would rank above Kareem Hunt with Nick Chubb out. And there was like 5 guys, like Dalvin Cook, Zeke, Christian McCaffrey when he's back. And I looked at that list, and honestly, the only one that I felt that I would rank above Nick Chubb, because I'm not counting McCaffrey until he gets back, was Dalvin Cook. I mean, Kareem Hunt is a legit, like, top round 1 fantasy pick with no Nick Chubb in there. He's utilized in the passing game. He's utilized in the running game. The new Browns offense will feature the run game first and Baker second. He's under 7K. And I don't want to take anything away from the Colts defense, which is solid. But I like Kareem Hunt. I almost said Nick Hunt and combined the two of them. But I like Kareem Hunt any format. I just think he's a solid floor play with a high ceiling.
Same. So it's not even about the Colts defense because it's just a workload and volume that he's going to get with no Chubb. So I agree with you about what you said. You know, you saw that list of the top 5. I'm going to flip that around on you. Why Cook over Hunt? I'm not saying I'm arguing with you. I'm just interested to know why.
I just think he might be just a little bit better. I'm a big Dalvin Cook fan. I hate the Minnesota Vikings as a Packer fan, as you guys all know, but I do respect Dalvin Cook. And having watched the last 2 Vikings games pretty closely, reminded me of why I used to be so high on him. And I just think he's really, really good. But it's not like he's way above Kareem Hunt. He's the only one that I would safely put above him, and it's still close.
Okay, fair enough.
So, I mean, as a Browns fan,
yeah, I love.
Do you see any position where he doesn't get 20-plus touches?
No, very hard to see that. Obviously, we talked about it. I mentioned it when we talked about Kyler. Big upside is very touchdown dependent, but he's in such a great spot to get 20-plus touches. Game script, doesn't matter. If they're up big, they're going to ground and pound with Hunt. If they get down, he's a very nice safety valve for Baker Mayfield. He's shown that all year. He's one of the best running backs in the league, like best versatile backs, running between tackle, going outside the tackle, and catching. He might be I don't want to say he's the most versatile back, but he's one of them.
Yeah, he's able to do it all. And I really like what Cleveland is selling right now. We talked about this for a while yesterday. You're a Browns fan, so it's very difficult for you not to control your emotions and not allow yourself to get excited about a team that's let you down throughout the vast majority of your life, right? But as an outsider, I like what the Browns are doing. Now, I realize the competition the last couple of weeks wasn't very stiff. Into this season expecting them to be better under their new coach, who was a better fit for what they do as an offense. And I am buying what Cleveland's selling. I think you guys are continuing to win your games. I think you're going to win this weekend. And I think Kareem Hunt gives you at least 15 DK points. But realistically, I think 25 and 30 is not unreasonable.
I completely agree. Side note on a running back, and I will kind of call you out on this, and a guy that I think should be on that list is Aaron Jones, man. Like, he continues to just be really good. Obviously kidding when I say I'm going to call you out. I think we were both wrong in thinking that was going to be more of a timeshare. He's just awesome. I know it's really helped him that they've had no wide receivers, but I'm sure you'll agree with that at this point.
Yeah, he's really good. I'm a big Aaron Jones fan, and I was definitely wrong on him from a fantasy perspective for this year. I thought they would include A.J. Dillon in the rotation a little bit more. I think Dillon has all 5 carries this year. Jamal Williams also looks really, really good, but Aaron Jones is just explosive, and he's absolutely killing it. So, again, I'm happy to be wrong about this one. Like, there are certain situations where you love to be wrong. I thought the Cowboys would beat the Packers in the playoffs like 5 years ago on that like great Aaron Rodgers comeback. I've never been happier to be wrong. I'm happy to be wrong on Aaron Jones.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's keep moving down the list. Speaking of the Cowboys, Ezekiel Elliott, the Cowboys have the New York Giants this week, and this might be the first time in a while I kind of expect the Cowboys to be up in this game. Doesn't mean they will be. If there's one coach in the NFL that could ruin something, it's going to be Mike McCarthy. Sorry, Cowboys fans, you got our leftover garbage from the Packers now. Have fun with it for the next 10 years as Jerry will never fire him. Zeke has not been great this year from an eye test, but he continues to be solid, right? Like, his low score this year is 17.8. Now, he hasn't done it the way we've expected because the Cowboys keep getting down by about 400 to 500 points in each game, and he's been doing it a lot more with the PPR points. But this is a good spot for the Cowboys to actually get a lead, ground and pound. But even if they go classic Cowboys and fall behind, we've seen he's been able to get his points utilizing the high reception rate.
Yeah, he's still averaging 22 plus DK points, per game this year. Oh man, it's hard to ever trust the Cowboys. And the funny thing about McCarthy, and we never even mentioned this point, but I think about it all the time. Like, so happy that Cleveland avoided that with Dallas hiring him. We talked about that. But it's funny that of all teams, Dallas hired him. Like, the Cowboys could basically get any coach they want. Why Mike McCarthy? It just makes no sense. Like, I figured he would get a job somewhere, but somewhere like Cleveland or Jacksonville, not like Dallas.
You know exactly why Jerry Jones hired him, because he can control him. And
this is true.
It's something he can sell to the fan base because he has a Super Bowl championship, but without getting any kind of like the prestige, like talk back. Like, he can be a yes man for him. But yet you could be like, guys, he's a Super Bowl champion, and the fans can't have to give him a little bit of a longer leash because Aaron Rodgers and Charles Woodson and the boys got him a Super Bowl 10 years ago.
Yeah, they literally like put him in their backpack and got him a Super Bowl ring, right?
Yeah, like, absolutely. He's a bad coach. I posted on Facebook the other day. So I was calling for McCarthy to get fired for years, telling everybody this is a bad football coach. And I had enough people around here to be like, no, he's good, man. He's a champion. I'm like, he's a champion by luck, not because of anything that he did. So as soon as he gets booted from the Packers, what happens? They are now 18-4 if you include the playoffs.
It's more like how many championships would they want without him?
Right? Like, you wasted many, many years of Aaron Rodgers' career by having Mike McCarthy as the coach. He is not set. Nepotism basically got him, well, not nepotism, but, the old boys club got him the defensive coordinator job. Now I'm drawing up like Nolan in Dallas. That was a bad hire from the beginning. Like, just a bad football coach. Sorry, this kind of went off tangent. We still like Zeke this week.
Like Zeke a lot. More excited actually to talk about the other side of this game, which we'll get to in a minute.
Well, actually, not even a minute, just a second. We're looking at Darius Slayton of the New York Giants this week. So this is a great spot for the Giants offense to look competent. And I know that's not a very high bar to pass, but they just need to look competent. And if there is a spot to do it, it's against Dallas or Atlanta. Pick your poison with either of these two atrocious defenses. Slayton had a really big week one in the opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but hasn't done much since then. But the Giants have started out with the Rams, Steelers, 49ers, and Bears. And even though the 49ers have lost a lot of their best players, these are four of the better 10 defenses in the league. Now they get Dallas. They're going to need to pass because Dallas will put up points. Slayton is big game capable, and the Dallas secondary leaves just so much to be desired.
Leaves so much to be desired. One thing that we haven't even mentioned yet that you could take a lot of different ways, but I actually like this for the Giants side a lot. You got Jason Garrett, their offensive coordinator, going back into Dallas. I got a feeling he wants to put it on them. I mean, seriously, like, I'm not playing these guys because of that, but definitely doesn't hurt their cause here. I like Slayton a lot. We've talked about this on the members only. I'm starting to really dig on the Giants here. Slayton was in a really tough matchup last week against Jalen Ramsey. Now he's going to be free. I think he could score twice this week. Obviously, again, touchdowns are very random, but he's in a great spot against a weak Dallas D. I love him here.
Look, we won't trust the Giants because they're one of the worst teams in the league, but there's a lot to like about them right now. They can't run the ball. They have no good running backs, so they have to throw it a little bit. And while Daniel Jones has not looked good this year at all, he really has been in a bad spot. The Bears' defense is good. The 49ers' defense still plays hard, even though they're missing a bunch of their good players. The Steelers' defense is the best in the league, in my opinion. And the Rams' defense is the best player and is, a top 10 defense in their own right. Now you get arguably the worst defense in the league. Guys like Slayton, Evan Ingram, Golden Tate, they're all really, really cheap PPR points like this. Like, the Giants could hit value with a bunch of these guys and maybe even only score 17 points because they're going to be able to complete some passes.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they only scored 17 also, personally. It is the Giants, but I'm surprised.
Yeah, right. Like, I feel like the Jets could put 20 up on Dallas, so, like, anybody can.
Yeah. This is like a big test for Daniel Jones, in my opinion. Like, he's got to play well there.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't play well against the Cowboys, you really have to reevaluate that as a pick overall. Yes. Cut him a little bit of slack because they're missing Saquon. The offensive line is bad and everything like that. But if you can't put it up against the Cowboys, like, maybe you just don't have it at this level.
Yes, that's exactly my point. It's a make it or break it spot. We see that eye to eye, and I expect them to play well because I agree with you. I think the Jets could put up 20 on them, and as bad as the Giants have played, I think their offense is still better than the Jets. Cool.
The other thing about a Mike McCarthy team is they're not winning, right? Like, and I screamed about this for years. Like, the Packers would win games due to Aaron Rodgers despite of Mike McCarthy. But, like, even teams find ways to play well against Mike McCarthy football teams.
Yeah, you always had said that. And it's not like Dallas has been known to be big-time winners recently. That's the biggest thing for me.
No, I would never bet on it, but I'm not surprised if Dallas loses this game.
Not at all.
So, all right. We're going to call it a defense this week. And I don't think that they're going to get a ton of love, but we like the idea specifically within the tournament realm, and that's the Houston Texans. So let's address the elephant in the room on this one. Are the Texans a good defense? No, they're not. They're not a good defense, not even in the slightest, right? They can definitely be run on. They can be passed on. They are not a good defense. However, this one is about things for us. One, they're dirt cheap. They're only 2,600. We'll make it three things. Two, they're playing the Jacksonville Jaguars, who aren't very good. But the last thing that we're going to bring up right here is Bill O'Brien is out. By now, you guys all know that. He's had a really bad relationship with a good number of the players on the Texans. If there was a week for the intangibles to shine through, for everybody on that defense to be flying around and playing hard, this is the week. They have probably, we don't know this, we don't know the Texans players, but I have to imagine that a lot of them are really happy this week.
Yeah, I got to imagine that. I mean, the writing's been on the wall here for too long. I feel like after the Hopkins trade, a lot of times perception is reality. So, like, we don't know how they were feeling in the locker room, but, like, the whole world thought it was a stupid trade. Like, it's doubtful that the guys in the locker room were in love with it, like, because they're human beings and they're, not idiots. So I'm with you, man. I feel like Houston should play really well in this spot. I think they get love all over, except I think their D gets left out. Not saying they won't get any love because all Ds are pretty random and, basically every D gets a little bit of love.
And people punt defense all the time, right? Like, they don't mind taking a 2 spot on the defense when I like to play sometimes pay up to get like the 10 to 15 point performances. People love to punt. They might get a little love.
Yeah, for sure. Now, they leave a lot to be desired. They're not very good, but I love them in this spot. Jacksonville's offense also leaves a lot to be desired. They're not an offense I'm ever scared to use a D against. Touchdowns are the big equalizer all over. If you get like a defensive score or two from Houston, they're going to be the top D. It's just what it is.
Like, I would not play them against a competent offense this week. Like, if they were matched up with, even if this was last week and you were playing the Minnesota Vikings, who are looking a little better each and every week, I wouldn't want to play the Texans defense because they are, again, we want to reiterate, they are not a good defense, right? We know that, but they still got, a few players. They got J.J. Watt. He's not what he was 5 years ago, but he's still a very good player. Things can happen for him right here. Gardner Minshew, I like him. Love his mustache. He's not a great NFL quarterback. I like the kid that playing running back for him, Robbins. He's not a great running back or anything like that. So there are points to be had right here. And if there was ever a week for guys to play and live their best life on the Houston Texans, this would probably be it.
Definitely. And I'm thinking about it. I might have played them last week against Kirk Cousins in this spot. Like, I wouldn't have liked it as much because Jacksonville's worse, but Cousins throws picks and gets sacked. Like, the Vikings offense is better and Cousins is better than Minshew, but Cousins is like so slow and makes bad decisions. So I would have played them in that spot. So I like them even more in this spot.
Yeah, no, there's nothing about Jacksonville that scares you, right? Like, there's no, like, DJ Chark, he's a nice player. He's not Julio Jones, right? Like, there's nothing about the Jaguars offense. It's like you feel like they're going to go in here and hang up 40.
No.
So, guys, that's what we got for the week. Do the full breakdown of members only. We did first thoughts earlier this week if you want it. All sorts of memberships available through the website. We'll do a final thoughts video on either late Friday or Saturday of this week, kind of talking about where we're going to end up on the week. Let's continue to get those dubs over on the DFS side of things, and we appreciate y'all watching.
Thanks, guys.